So the stars finally aligned and I'm able to do a solo episode. I'm sure a lot of you are curious about what your favorite Israeli intelligence officer has to say about Minecraft and Hypixel, and obviously Femboys. Now, although Minecraft is my most played game, I actually don't have much to talk about. It's gonna be like 50-50, I'd like to think, in terms of like slop game and funky stuff. I chose a few interesting topics, obviously Femboys being one of them. And I think the sadness stuff will be a nice little cherry on top, a little apple on top of the cake. But yeah, as I say in Lobby 1, let's skip the little small talk. How I found Minecraft and Hypixel. So my lore for finding Minecraft, Hypixel, and even Sumo is very generic. You know, I'm pretty sure you can predict it probably. But it all started like 8, 7, 9 years ago, whenever Minecraft YouTubers were like mainstream, you know, Stampy, iBallistic Squid. I could list you probably 6+ names easily and tell you like what series I watched or episodes or whatever. Just like everyone else, I assume YouTube just recommended me a Minecraft YouTuber at one point when I was 20 minus 8. And you know, watching Minecraft content was pretty much like the only thing I was ever addicted to in my life. Everything else I can just snap my fingers and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. But with Minecraft content back then, I don't know, it was just too addictive. I believe the appeal was from the creativity because, you know, every Minecraft YouTuber had something unique, like a unique series or builds, redstone, you know, shit like that. And me being very young, you know, I was like, wow, I mean, you can do anything in this game. And obviously, when you're younger, your standards are pretty much non-existent for entertainment. Eventually, I did get a Xbox 360. I assume like 2 years later after finding all of the YouTubers out and being addicted. And obviously, I got Minecraft. Like, come on, that was like the one game I actually wanted to play. But after playing Minecraft for like 10 to 20 minutes, I was like, you know what? This is actually shit. Like, it's boring. There's nothing to do. And the survival aspect is meh. The creative side is, it's fine, but you get bored after like 30 minutes, which, you know, I believe is a common experience for children whenever they find Minecraft. It's like, how much TNT can I spam and blow shit up? Like, I'm pretty sure everyone at one point just started like griefing villagers. That was like the pinnacle of fun back then. When you're playing, of course, solo. Like, if you have a friend, then it's a different story, I'd like to think. My only experience is 1v1ing with kits. Not even like actual kits, just we made stuff up, you know. There was like an assassin kit, tank kit. I'm sure you can already guess what it is. You know, diamond armor, shit sword, and the assassin is like diamond sword and shit armor. And that was actually pretty fun. After a week of playing Minecraft on the 360, I just moved on to random games like COD, Assassin's Creed, you know, generic AAA games, and I did enjoy them a lot, hence why I still game today. But I still watched Minecraft on the side because although I didn't like the game personally, it was fun watching the creative aspect of the game. You know, the roleplay, the mini games, the building, the redstone. And while I was being an addict at the age of like 14 or 15, I did find Sunday and I did see a live stream, I believe, of him playing Hypixel Bed Wars. And looking back on this is kind of cringe as fuck admitting this, but this is my law after all. So it was just him and 3 other people camping, and it was like a challenge. I believe they couldn't touch middle, but they could get like diamonds. And whenever you max out the generator in your base, you actually get emeralds, so it's like a little bypass. So technically you don't actually have to go to middle, you just need enough diamonds. Now 14-year-old me was very, very hooked on this. You know, it just looked so much fun. It goes back to the creative point that I was talking about. You know, in my shitty single player world, there was like nothing to do. But then on fucking Hypixel Bed Wars of all places, it's like, whoa. There's like Ender Dragons, there's PvP, there's upgrades, there's like gang wars, Bloods versus Crypt at home. You know, there was pretty much just anything and everything. It was incomprehensible, which is not a word, by the way, so don't use it. I just like saying it. It sounds funky. But yeah, that's pretty much how I found out about Hypixel existing, because of a YouTuber playing like a pussy. I also remember watching Preston Plays and he made like a Bed Wars knockoff series. I think it was called Money Wars. Don't remember the server. But that series was pretty much just Egg Wars or Cake Wars. There's multiple variations of Bed Wars. Go figure, of course. All the leeches come for the boss, the number one. And then after a few years, when I was like 15, 16 maybe, I don't remember fully, because, you know, it's been a while. I'm in my 20s, I have a beard. Sadly, no Femboy yet, but I did get a laptop, you know, generic piece of shit. Once again, just like everyone else, I started with a shit device and slowly leveled up. I got my swag up, get your money up, know your funny up. Whenever I got my laptop, I actually tried playing other games initially, like Slime Rancher and Cluster Trucks, which is a background game for commentary videos, or used to be. It's a really simple game in terms of graphics and gameplay itself, but somehow I had like 20 FPS on it, so I was pretty much locked out of gaming, even indie games. Well, not all indie games, but you get the idea. Literally anything that was semi 3D was like, nope, you're getting fucked. Now, eventually, after a few months of like, I don't know, messing around with games and finding out that I can't run anything, and still watching Minecraft YouTubers on the side, I was like, hey, I should play Minecraft again. And it was a fun game to watch. I don't know why exactly I even bothered getting Minecraft again, because I literally had it on my 360. Like, just turn on the console, bruh. But one of the main complaints about the console was that I just didn't like the controllers. I remember playing Assassin's Creed and just holding the joystick down, and my thumb like kept hurting. So good design, guys. Congrats. 10 out of 10. So I ended up finding a Team Extreme, I believe, or T Launcher for short. Something like that. I'm sure many of you started like this. Actually, I do know, because some of you literally have done the podcast and admitted to piracy, which is a fun hobby. But the moment I launched Minecraft, like actually boot it, there was always like some advertised server, I believe, or their server. So I logged on. I don't remember anything, but there was this mob kit arena thing where you can go solo or with friends and you have a kit and you fight mobs in waves. Like, it sounds so shit now that I'm describing it, but it was so much fun. Don't know why. And like all the kits were like pretty much the same, I'd say. Diamond armor versus iron armor, iron sword versus diamond sword. It was so simple but so fun. Like, once again, creative side of Minecraft. I've always loved mini games, the creative aspect of it, adventure maps even. Like, I remember watching this girl, YouTuber, Highest Cupcakes, purple hair. I'm sure some of my female viewers, all two of you, all know who that is. Because come on, you play Minecraft, you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. But yeah, she played this adventure map. It was like one of those part maps. So there's like 4 parts, and each part is like unique in the sense of like one room is filled with parkour, the second is archery, melee, stuff like that. And there's obviously a puzzle room somewhere. And at the very end, you get like a little relic or a gem, or if I have to put it literally, probably a diamond. And then you put all of those gems together and boom, the final room, stuff like that. And I remember rewatching that video like 3 times, or series, I guess, which kind of doesn't even make sense because I already know what was going to happen, but I don't know. It was just unique and interesting. And I was just fully entertained. Like, my brain was just maxed out in terms of dopamine and enjoyment. I was probably frozen IRL for like 5 hours straight. No, that was awesome. The good days. So after messing around on Team Extreme, I moved on to a cracked server that I actually mained fully. I'm not going to say names because I do have a funny little history there. It's obviously not as bad as Hypixel, where I have dead ops. Actually, dead op technically, but I need the ore again. But on there, I played Bed Wars and a bit of Sky Wars and Duels. I was actually top 100 for all of them in terms of wins. I believe they had an elo system, but yeah, it was definitely dead. The Bed Wars thing came from Sunday. Like, I was just addicted to watching YouTube. It was too much fun. I couldn't handle it. After like 2 or 3 years, I believe. Yeah, it was probably like 3 years. I was like top 5 for Bed Wars wins and like top 20 for Jules wins. Now, funnily enough, I actually made Sumo on that server. Mainly because it was the simplest one, and at the time I was just a 7 CPS main. I didn't know how to roll or do anything really. Now, funnily enough, I did actually get false banned before on the server, but it was only once. I can't remember why, but it wasn't like crazy PvP stuff. It was kind of just like I got stuck in a block and got dicked. Kind of reminds me of Hypixel actually. Huh. I'll touch on that later on. Also, whenever I was playing on the server, like everyone in chat was like, "Oh, the fucking cheaters, the cheaters, the cheaters, bruv. Hypixel better, Hypixel better." So I kept seeing Hypixel like getting mentioned, and at this point I already forgot about Hypixel and Sunday being like a pussy. But there's like 2 types of accounts that you can have. There's like a cracked account and there's like a premium account. And a premium account is just you bought the account legit. quote unquote legit, because you could technically buy a $3 alt and you own Minecraft. Unless you get locked and you need your transaction ID, then maybe it's a little iffy. But in 2019, I did get a premium account or a legit account and just used the default Minecraft launcher, finally. Now, whenever I logged on Hypixel, this was in 2019, I only have one account, so feel free to check. I was instantly hooked to Bed Wars, of course, because, you know, I was the Bed Wars main, so yeah. I believe I hit 200 Bed Wars stars before I learned how to double click, but although I do have like a semi-high FKDR, at the time at least, you know, now it's probably dog shit. I believe it's 7 or 8. The queues were completely easy, you know. I was gonna say Alwood. You know, I was eating grapes on people with 7 CPS. It was like a meme back in my little quote unquote inner circle, I guess. That I was like the 7 CPS guy. You know, everyone knew how to jitter, and the top 1% PvPers knew how to butterfly click, I guess. But I was like that one stubborn guy who just didn't bother learning how to jitter. And plus, I kept flexing that I had no GPU, and I was like outperforming everyone else. Such fun days. But eventually, I did get a pre-built PC, and yeah, that's where I just pretty much became fully addicted. I went from addicted to fully addicted. You know, that was like the only thing I thought of whenever I was in school. This is like the most incel shit ever. But hey, I was still like 15, I believe. I'm not even sure what the appeal of Bed Wars was to me. I mean, it just seems like a simple game now that I think about it, because no one was sweaty. The quote unquote sweats were just people who knew how to double click, I guess, and had partial game sense, but I still have some of the montages saved. Yep, I did make montages. The chances of you seeing them are like 0.01%. Unless you send me some Bitcoin, then you know what? You can see some stuff, some funky stuff. Now, whenever I hit 300 stars, I believe I randomly started playing Sumo. And this was during the ranked era of Duels. Not ranked as in like everyone was competitive. Although that was kind of the case for some comms, like the UHC one, for example. Remember Bloge, Calvin, Sixel Vixen in the big 2026? But it was back when they had the ranked seasons thing. You can get titles. I only have a UHC top 500 title. I mean, I have 6 titles, but that's the only quote unquote decent one, I'd say. I'm pretty sure I got like 5 wins, or 3 wins, and just went back to Bed Wars. But yeah, whenever I had 300 stars, give or take, I just main Sumo on the side. But it was mainly just as warm up. You know, I came home from school mentally and physically drained. Like, I just need to lock in right now and get back to my zone. So I just played Sumo. I'm not exactly sure how many games, like probably 10, 20, 30, you know, the usual amount to warm up. And then I would just keep Bed Wars for like 8 hours a day. It was honestly so much fun. Also, another interesting little lore detail about me is I've literally never bought a rank in my life. Like, whenever I played Bed Wars, I would play with a few people. I actually played with an OG too for some reason, but they were kind of bad. So it was like an equal relationship, you know, no one was getting boosted. It was just 2 people having fun, I guess. Although they were like 6 years older than me, so. But I did play with this one Polish guy, and eventually he bought me like VIP and VIP Plus. And this was before gifting was a thing, so you literally had to manually buy it, and you would get nothing from it, aside from a thank you and metaphorically having your dick sucked for like, what, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And then, you know, Skyblock came out. I actually main Skyblock whenever it first came out initially, but I ended up quitting before the pets update, and I ended up selling my wrong dragon armor for a few coins. I believe it was like 15 million plus from that set alone. Which, you know, I'm sure a lot of you who main Skyblock are like, wow, that's wild. Because now that set is worth like 2 cents. Literally. But I ended up quitting and just maining Duels because I had like 20k wins at the time. And one day I was just lobby sitting as a level 230 VIP plus, you know, nothing sketchy there. And I was talking to this MVP plus guy, LeChoco. You will never believe which language he can speak. But he ended up buying me and someone else MVP plus. And we were both like VIP and slash VIP plus, so, you know, crazy. Some random guy just drops like 100 USD on 2 random people he just met. Nice guy. The Duels Podcast. As I mentioned in the overview video, the Duels podcast was originally a meme that me and Noah kind of just joked about like doing, like let's VC and talk about the game and whatever else. And this was during the Joe Rogan era, I guess. Although he was famous before doing the podcasts, he pretty much just became more mainstream, I'd say. And especially now. And everyone watched this podcast, like they still do, but I feel like more people hate watch him nowadays. Like there was that one episode with that CIA or FBI guy, and all the comments were just shitting on the episode, being like, "Oh, he's here to like change the batteries from the hidden microphones and cameras, that type of stuff." Which is funny though, I'll admit. Anyways, I started doing the podcast like during the year ban, like 6 months after it, I believe, because I don't know, I just kept toying around with the idea. Like this could actually work though if done right, like all the structure and in general of like decent people. I personally started doing it because I really loved podcasts at the time, It's kind of like Spotify, but sometimes better depending on the podcast itself and the guest. It's like something you can slap on the second monitor or not even watch fully, but still gain like some useful knowledge. Meanwhile, compared with music, it's just emotion only. You'll get energized or sad or angry or whatever. And at the time, I was binge watching Joe and Lex. Funny how they used to be like respected, now both are like hated on. Lex with the whole Ukraine stuff, and Putin. Let's get Putin on the podcast and talk about love, peace, and sussy wussy femboys. And a lot of people think he's like planted in the space, I guess, of podcasting and just general media because he like started a podcast, got like crazy guests on, like Elon Musk and a few other people who are high profile. But yeah, after like the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, I kind of need guests, like actual people, because Teddy, Bobza, and Fishing Cheems, they were like in my little inner circle, so they weren't like real people, like real outsiders. I remember DMing DJ Khaled about it too, because he was online, and we were like talking at the time. I was like, hey, you should do this, like a little interview thing. And although the first episode like did kind of blow up and had like a lot of positive comments, it didn't really mean much to me because I already saw like the quote unquote vision for it or the potential of the series itself. My main objective was to like interview or do a podcast with every single type of person, like every single group, like cheaters, botters, the legits, the grinders. Now I am missing a few people, but I've already sorted that out. And in the next 4 months, I'm pretty sure I'll have every type of person on the podcast. I'd say after like the first 10 episodes, I definitely began to like have small little requirements. Like not even leaderboard players, but like 20 plus thousand wins, I guess. That wasn't a specific number. It was just be interesting, be unique, or have like experience in a mode. Or maybe know something. Like for example, Bobs doesn't even play the game, but he was an admin in Lilith. Therefore he knew a lot about the Discord and the actual overlay itself. So just because someone doesn't have like 100,000 plus wins doesn't mean they're boring. They can still be unique. This is just some random trivia, but every single episode I always crack my knuckles for some reason. Like every time I finish a sentence, I would just start like fidgeting. Although it's not really fidgeting since I just crack my knuckles and just stay still and listen, pay attention. But I always cut that out. That's definitely something everyone should know. It's just a funny little detail. Like I would finish a sentence and it would be like silence for like 2 seconds while the other person is thinking of answer, and then you can just hear a little click. Like even in this episode, in the lore section, I cracked my knuckles without even realizing it. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I should probably mention. But every single episode is edited. It's mainly just awkward silence, like 5-second gaps, 10-second gaps, because the other person is thinking if I to respond. I also sometimes cut out the stutterers, but if a person stutters 24/7, I just mostly leave it because that's who they are. That's how they speak. And also it'd be a lot of effort to like cut out 10% of the audio, and it would definitely sound iffy. And there have been a few VCs where it's actually in like multiple parts, but pretty much blended in terms of audio. Same with like cutting specific sections out. Oh yeah, so got to mention why I even bothered doing it, or my quote unquote vision was, but it's mainly just to bridge the gap between leaderboard players and like the average person. Because if you joined Hypixel, got like a few wins and were curious about like how to get better, There isn't many resources out there. Like, sure, you can go on the forums, but not a single good person is on there who will help you in like PvP or game sense or anything really. And although there have been like decent guides, they are already hidden. Nothing has been like pinned. They don't really pin anything too good. It's kind of just slop. And also, even if you have like 20,000 wins, you still won't be able to DM like leaderboard players. Like, take me for example. For like 2 years or maybe a year, I had everything disabled: friend requests, party requests, DMs, Duels. Like, unless you spotted me in lobby 1, it's impossible to ask me questions or even ask for help. But with the podcast, like, you can just Google someone's IGN and you would find the podcast, hopefully, and you would find out some tips and tricks, maybe, or just general lore about them. So I know a lot of people actually do want to talk to leaderboard players, but you can't do much in lobby 1 because, trying to make like small talk or actual convos in lobby 1 is impossible because everyone responds the same way. Hello, 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 hi, hi, hi. Like, you could meet someone, talk, quote unquote talk, for like a month or two, and you would still know like the bare bones about them as a person. But in the podcast, they could like reveal so much from just a single hour conversation. And I do have evidence to back this up, the whole Tenkrai episode where he revealed his old main account, and someone in the comments was like, wow, I've known this guy for like years, but in reality, I've known him way longer because I used to talk to his old main. And although that information is well known, maybe, not too sure. Some people clearly didn't know about it. And that's another nice little benefit from the podcast, because if a friend appears on it, you can listen to that episode and maybe gain some more knowledge and maybe like learn more about them as a person, maybe hear a funny story even, and just listen to them talk about like smoking weed, because we all love that. And although I doubt many like new people are listening to the podcast, it's still just a nice little collection of interviews to have like in the backlog of my YouTube channel, because at any point you could like get bored of your mode, pick something else, and then listen to an episode from one of the leaderboard players, maybe gain some knowledge or lore. Oh yeah, I've seen a few people suggest that I should try and be more talkative, but wow, you guys have not seen the intros that I've put out. Like, I try my hardest to make small talk at the very beginning. I'm sure you've noticed recently that I've been pushing it constantly, but it was pretty much impossible to make small talk. Because the moment you mention something, they just give like some singular word response, like, yeah, whatever. They won't go into detail. I think the best intros are still from Shiraku and Shade. And that also applies for like the general VC itself. Like, a lot of people say that it's an interview, and yeah, it is an interview. I'll say it here. But podcast sounds better. Whenever people ask me about it, like, why don't you speak more? I always send them a clip which just shows me like trying to speak more. And the other person's like, huh? Oh, right. So anyways, again, it depends on the person. And the Jules comma is a little antisocial. And just remember that this is their first time VCing with me. And I do have a funky little rep in the com. Cheater, booster, account sharer, doxer. You can probably slap any label on me, since I do have every single type of allegation. Yep, even the cheese pizza ones. Although it wasn't even for cheese pizza, it was more like cheese. But there's a reason you didn't hear about any of it. And it's not because I applied for a job at McDonald's as a janitor. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention is the people who like cheese or cheese pizza, since I just mentioned my little allegations that are false. Not that it matters. So as I said before, I do want to like interview or just VC with absolutely everyone, like every type of person in the com. And I do find it funny when people are like, why did you interview him? But I finally realized my mistakes. I've been literally pinned to the wall or cornered by the dogs, and I'm about to fold to pressure like it's poker. Yeah, I'm gonna even show you my analytics. Like, my entire audience turned against me. All of my subs are like shitting on me in the comments. And then lobby 1 and Discord. If you're on Spotify, just look at the YouTube video, lol. This is my career at the very end now. I'm gonna have to like retire soon and quit and never come back. Oh. Well, surely the Redzy episode. Oh. And I guess it was just outsiders crying about it. Well, So much for that. And I do like comments like these because Easy is a naughty little boy, and you interviewed him. Lawyers be like, bruh. And then there's a nice little TikTok comment, which no one responds to. Because, if we scroll up a little, where is it? Here we go. You can read that out loud. I can't be bothered bypassing. Oh yeah, this is also another comment that, I shouldn't be messing around with this. I should probably put my foot down and be like, yeah, I don't support these people. If it's just a legal hypothetical. Because, I like watching the lawyer videos. Some guy clips his family and they get away with it because it's justice or something. So yeah, you see this comment and you would probably assume that, okay, I should probably like stop trolling, stop rage baiting, stop anything and just be serious. But nope. Minecraft Zombie go, bruh. I do like how he's responding to the fucking guy from the video. It's just him on an alt. So yeah, good little section. Also, like, whenever I was in VC with Easy, like, I already was thinking of saying something similar to it. Like, not defending him, but just saying from a legal standpoint, it isn't anything too legit, aside from that one thing. Like, I already knew people wouldn't like it, and that's, like, the only reason I even did it. Usually I would just stay silent and not, like, attack the sheep or the W holders IRL who are drooling on their keyboard, but my rep has been fucked since, like, 2023, give or take. Although you probably don't know about it, since you're not in the com. For a good reason, I might add. But yeah, it's funny how a lot of people like skip to that part, and I do know that people skip to it because I can literally see it in the analytics. And it's hilarious how nobody even bothered watching like the next 3 seconds of that like little line where I say from a legal standpoint. And I mean, what if I was a aspiring lawyer? What if I just binge watched Better Call Saul and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be like this guy. He's my idol. Oh yeah. Also, I got like a few messages in Lobby 1 saying that I'm like one of them or I defend them. And it literally means nothing to me. It's hilarious whenever people try and like rage bait me or bait me in general. Like you do realize I spend like 2 hours a day like rage baiting in Lobby 1 and spamming like free Israel, free Easy, 7C, no like all of the gang really. Also in general, I just like talking to hated people because I am like top 5 in the most hated players of all time. But this is only from Duels mains, which doesn't mean anything. Like I'm pretty sure 60 or 70% of the com hates me, but in terms of like actual Duels players, it's probably like 20 or 30% or even 10% because there's like too many people. And I'm always like neutral or semi-nice to people that I queue, or mean lobby 1. Actually mean lobby 1. I don't just rage bait everyone that I see, which might be a surprise to some of you. But the moment I see like anyone Hackusating me, I'm like, okay, you just gave me a pass to go all out on you, like mention anything. Which is a huge reason for me doing whatever I want, rage baiting, saying free Israel, free whoever. Because everyone already thinks I cheat, account share, boost, bot, and like every single negative label that you can give someone within the Minecraft community. It's like, why does it even matter? If I interview other people, like, oh no, the guy who cheats has cheese pizza. Like, it is more severe, but to me, it's all negativity. It's like if you had a full-time job and you worked for like 5 years straight and you were very, very efficient with money and optimized it. Like you only bought groceries, cooked, and the rest like went into stocks or something, or Bitcoin, if you're like one of them people. Eventually after like 10 years, you buy like a Lambo or something flashy, even a house, for example. But everyone around you, or at least 95% of the people in your life, just say, oh yeah, that's fake. It's probably daddy's money. You didn't do shit. I know you as a person and you're too lazy to do that, or you're too stupid to actually have like a real Lambo. You're definitely like renting it. And the house is probably not even yours. Like it was probably just passed down. That's the equivalent of all the accusations in terms of like statistics in Minecraft for me. Whenever I tell people this, they're like, "Oh, you should take it as a compliment because you're too good." But that still doesn't change the fact that they're trying to like ruin your rap by saying, "Oh no, that's impossible. There's not a single human on the planet who can play sumo 7 hours a day and dodge the way you do, and streak the way you do, and just in general grind wins for fun. Like people play for 30 minutes a day and they're already miserable and angry. Rightfully so, because getting S-holded or rod spammed or the equivalent is pretty annoying. And although you might say that I should just ignore everyone and be like isolated fully, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like being passive or like a pussy. Shade does that. He literally VCs with his own ops, which is pretty crazy to actually think about. You know, people shit on him and then say hi to him later, and he's fine with it. Like, I've showed him proof many times of such scenarios occurring, and he's like, it happens. And I always say, I don't know how you can do that, honestly. Like, the moment I see, like, Mutton or something Hackusations, you already know who's gonna get brought up next. And that also applies to, like, random people in the lobby one. Whoever mentions, like, my wins, win streak, win-loss ratio, KD, or just anything in general, and put, like, a negative spin on it, like it was boosted, botted, you get it. I'm always, like, rage baiting or doing something negative back. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and, like, take it like a little bitch. That's what femboys are for. And I guess trans girls. But some of them. Also, that's a thing I hate about the community. Like, everyone is two-faced and a huge pussy. Like, when I say everyone, I mean like 98 or 99% of the people. Like, of course, there's a few decent people. Almost everyone is just a pussy who just follows the mainstream narrative, which, you know, is pretty funny. Like, you know, some new shit guild gets made and everyone just flocks to it, and then, like, 2 weeks later, a month later, they just join some new slop guild, and they always crumble. Like, I'm pretty sure the only Duels guild that has actually, like, lasted is Wukong. Like, top 10, same members, same everything. And yeah, the guild is dead now, but come on. Dodging got banned, and those guys are like literally 20 plus, so that means they play for fun. As much as I hate admitting to this, but I did actually cast like a few baits into the wild, like fake doxes or a way to get doxed. But I'll only admit to one of them, and it's my donation link on my live streams. It's from Streamlabs, but if you donate via PayPal, you will see a name, and I don't know what else, but you'll definitely get a full name, and it does link up to some other stuff. So from the outside, it would definitely look legit, I believe, unless you already knew like my full name and address. Then yeah, okay. Then of course you'll know it's fake. But like 2 years ago, someone did actually like try and, I don't know. I was gonna say be handful, but they only said something about my bank, and I said no, just no, because I was kind of like baiting them into doing something, but they never did anything with it. I'm not sure if they just gave up or they realized it was fake, although I doubt one of the labs would be that intelligent, because the moment anyone like finds any info out, they just instantly start leaking it, even if it's fake. I can name a very famous example right now. It doesn't matter too much, because I don't know who falls for what misinformation, and it would be beneficial to me if everyone was like misinformed. So yeah, if you're watching this, you should donate to my Streamlabs. Oh yeah, so back to the podcast. But before the VC, I always send people like a text file, and it's like 50 words. It's just like subjects. Like it'll be like lore, your mode, the update, any like drama, and that's it. And it's mainly just to allow them to like write notes and whatever else they want. Like, of course, I didn't expect someone like Navi to write out an entire like script. I'm not even sure if it was a script or if it was like 80% of his speech. Because remember, this is their first time VCing, and most people are kind of like shy or antisocial in general, so they might have problems speaking and going into detail. And also just in general, like memory wise, I don't think most people can just be like, oh yes, in 1996 I joined this guild, and then in 1998 I joined this guild, and here's like 5 stories that I just remembered instantly. But of course, some people don't need notes, like Sosa, Shade, and a few other people. Sumo. So as I mentioned in the lore chapter, I only played Sumo practice for Bed Wars, just so I can actually like butterfly click or normal click even. But eventually I did quit Bed Wars like 300 stars and main Sumo like quote unquote full time, I guess. But this was back in like 2022, I believe, or 2021. But whenever Ranked Duels was like getting removed or in its final stage, I chose Sumo because it was like the simplest mode, and I treated Minecraft as like a cookie clicker game. I didn't see the skill aspect as being real, which, you know, is good logic. But I did 100 to 300 daily wins for a while. And I ended up quitting at Sumo Godlike 9 for like a year or two. And when I came back, that was when the new title update came out, like Celestial, Ascended, Divine. And I became a Sumo Celestial. So I never actually had like Sumo Godlike X. Because I saw 1000 wins and I was like, I'm not doing that. That's too much effort. And, you know, the 100 plus daily wasn't even consistent. Like, at some days I would just not play Sumo and play like Skywars, for example, or The Pit, or AP Hunt, or Quest. I was never motivated to play Duels because it wasn't the funnest mode, or at least Sumo, for example. It was always like tutor infested, sweaty in general. Like, I hate losing games because of RNG. Like, I would rather lose to a sweat because I hate losing games to like literal bullshit, like ping difference. Like, there's no way I could ever outplay that person in a hypothetical 1v1 where I'm maxed out in terms of skill and game sense. Like, there's nothing you can do, truly. Because if they hit you first and just hold W, that's it. You auto lose, assuming you're legit. And also another part of it was the Godlike X was not special. You know, Bloonskiller had like 50,000 wins, I believe, which is like X to Godlike X, which pretty much just made the title common. And a lot of people even had it. Like, there was this guy called CM30. I'm sure a lot of you, like, quote unquote OGs or old gens know him. He was like a 1-1 loss ratio sumo player. He was pretty much like the Sky before Sky made sumo. But whenever I came back to Hypixel, or Minecraft in general, someone told me about Lilith, and I instantly got hooked. Because I actually enjoyed playing the game for the first time. You was chill, just sit back, relax, get wins. It was pretty much cookie clicker, just with a bit more skill, but way more fun. So initially I did 300 plus daily, consistently, and around like Sumo Ascended, I began doing like 500 plus daily, and I like got like X, I believe. I just kept doing 1000 plus dailies for like a year. That's where the whole 400k in a year thing comes from. Although it's not 400k, it's more like 360, 370, 380k. I mean, although I was a wins grinder, I was still outperforming a lot of people in every single field imaginable. Like, every week I would have a 300 plus win streak easily. And, you know, looking back on it, you might be like, oh, you just dodged. But so did like everyone. Remember Youthgo? Remember Shade? Remember auto dodging 0.5 plus win loss ratios? Remember all the nons that I shit on in the podcast before for auto dodging like Hypixel level 50 plus? Like, you only know about the most famous examples, but the average person didn't actually dodge like that. But not a single person ever even came close to beating my stats. Win loss ratio, wins per hour in general, you know, yearly wins, even my win streak. Remember the 1k win streak? That was good. Actually, it's currently the gameplay right now. We can all thank the Sumo stream from back in the day, which I still see people like referencing. I'm not sure if they've even seen the live stream or if it's something that I just randomly spammed back in the day and people still remember it. But it's always nice to see people referencing Sumo. It all started from someone making a video about something within Duels, and they kept saying Sumo because they had like a lisp or a partial lisp, and I just found it extremely funny and I started spamming it everywhere, as I usually do. But whenever I did the 1k dailies, that was pretty much like my prime in terms of skill and grinding in general, and probably mentality, because everyone else was just burnt out. Like, Youthgo did a 50k monthly and then he would quit for 5 months because he just couldn't do anything. He would touch the queue and just become a stick man IRL and just fold instantly. Meanwhile, I was having fun playing the game, which I know is a crazy statement to make because you're supposed to suffer whenever you play the game. But yeah, that's why I keep saying that there's no point of me playing the game without dodging. I'm not going to get cheated on while I have 12 CPS, which, you know, I could easily get like 22 CPS plus. Like, watch the evil montage. You'll see what I'm talking about. But another thing that I actually found interesting on the side, thanks to the podcast, was whenever Navi mentioned his like 3k plus daily, and I asked him if he was like accusated by everyone, and whenever he said that, no, actually, there was like one person, I think, who said something negative, I remember being like stunned IRL. I was like, what? Like, I get accusated non-stop. I'm probably in like the top 2 for most accusated Duels players of all time. From doing 1k daily, by the way, for like a year. And this guy does like X3 my daily, and not a single person like actually cares. A real person, of course. Some random non crying about it in a Discord server doesn't count. I'm pretty sure in the episode I even said, wow, the Classicom like must be nice or welcoming or friendly. Because in the Sumo com, if you do a 500 plus daily, you're pretty much an incel with no job who's like 35, living in a basement. And you also use 4.2 and 0.0, because let's be real, you can't play Sumo for more than 30 minutes without toggling. Look at the forums, or look at it, whatever the libtards use. And, Lilith was actually awesome, even though I joined late. I pretty much utilized it fully. I used it very effectively, in the sense of I had fun, but still grinded the game. So now I can pretty much retire and still be considered crazy in terms of stats. Because you can play the game for like 5-10 years and have 100k wins. And most people would assume you've played for 2 years. But whenever you see my wins like 400,000 plus, you'd think I'm like some day one OG who's been playing for like non-stop 23 hours a day. When in reality I got that in a year. And I had fun, unlike most people. I saw a few people complain about the bot crashing. When I say people, I mean the people I rage bait, because I don't think anyone in my quote-unquote audience actually cares. Like, even at the time, everyone was like freaking out in the comments and in my DMs and in lobby one, like, whoa, this will never get beaten. Well, this is like insane. 1,000 Sumo win streak in a day. And I still have the OG screenshot, which I will put right here. Pretty cool, right? I should have disabled the G tag. It would have looked way cleaner. But hey, 1,000 daily win streak. I did lose it at 1,026 to a random Asian player, so I might be number one for skill at that time. But hey, I still have 100 MS. It's not like the admins like gave me YouTube rank or fake YouTube rank with crazy hit reg. But yeah, back on the bot thing, you do realize that like every single leaderboard player has like crashed or AFK kicked the bots. Like Sode, for example, she or they, I don't know how many bots they crashed or quote-unquote boosted against, but it was like 500 plus, maybe even 1k plus, so should they get wiped? But even like average people boost, technically, according to like the libtards like Mutton and whoever else is spamming it, or used to spam. Like, a lot of people know about accuracy, like all the nons. Like, I've seen people with 2,000 wins spam it in like the queues, and it's hilarious. So they boosting too. Maybe we should wipe like 70% of the leaderboard players for boosting like 5 wins, even though they have 100,000 plus wins. But then again, maybe realistically we should listen to crackheads like Mutton, who bots on alt and flexes his little shitty classic Celestial in Lobby 1. Also the same guy who flexes about his ignored list. Look guys, I ignore 50 people a day, and I almost have a maxed out ignore list. I'm so cool, I'm gonna get clout. Average 0T lap. Merry lapsmas, by the way. I also get a little kick out of like all the fake Jules mains like flexing their non-existent tiers. Like Suzu, for example, loves going in lobby 1 and Discord like spamming, I'm an SD grinder. Meanwhile, she has like 100,000 wins overall, and she's been playing for years. Like, literally anyone could hop on and get that in like 3 months, 4 months. And when I say anyone, I literally mean anyone. You could technically be sick for work or school. In a hypothetical scenario, of course. It's not even about being addicted to the game. It's more about proving a point that absolutely anyone on the planet could do it. If they care enough, of course. Oh yeah, speaking of Suzu, she recently got year banned. Instantly hopped on an alt, doing the same thing. I thought she was about to get married, but someone in Lobby 1 told me that she's already married, so that's even funnier. Can you imagine spending 8 hours plus daily? Meanwhile, Big Daddy's like grinding in the hood. And she has a work from home job too, so Minecraft addiction go hard for some of us. YouTube. I'm sure I don't have to point this out, but I do YouTube for fun. Like, I know every single person on the planet says this, but these are the same people who pay like $1,000 for a thumbnail. Like, let's be real. At what point is that just a business move? Even like the people who make their own thumbnails, like, you can tell they're like copying all the mainstream stuff. Like, they want to blow up, they want to get famous. But then you look at my channel, like, it's just a whole meme pretty much. Like, even the videos themselves, like, low quality or straight to the point, no slop, no nothing. Like, listen to my voice. And also my titles, my thumbnails, absolutely everything is just low quality, I'd say. I'm not sure if low quality is the right word. It's more so I'm just being honest. I'm not hyping anything up or clickbaiting anything or trying to like chase down some mainstream topic to talk about or mention. I'm kind of just doing everything for fun, which a lot of people seem to actually enjoy, surprisingly. Like, I do get a few messages about the thumbnails being a little funky. And back when I actually like main Sumo, a lot of people complimented the way I did the milestones, even though it's a simple thing. There's a few ways you can do this. Like, look at Navi. He uploads like 20 minutes worth of gameplay, but he showed me analytics, and like 98% of people just skip to the very end. Hardly anyone actually watches his gameplay, which is understandable. And that was kind of my logic whenever I began doing milestone videos, because if I saw like 100,000 Sumo wins in the title, I want to see the actual win itself. And of course, like the aftermath of it, like the little title synchronization thing that pops up with your current and best win streak, or the win streak on the person. And of course, the title itself, like whenever you type in chat. And also, I feel like most people don't really want to watch like 20 minutes just for a singular like 10-second part. Like, you put 100,000 Sumo wins in the title, so I want to see you get 100,000 Sumo wins. I don't want to see you have like 99.6k wins. Like, I need to see it now, which is understandable, of course. Like, I do enjoy every aspect of doing YouTube, like even editing sometimes, because every time I open Premiere Pro, I'm just on autopilot, like auto snipping everything. It's like some AI that auto snips the silent gaps, or re-records the bad audio, I guess, like stutters, for example. This isn't relevant to YouTube, but it's just something I picked up on the side. And I'm pretty sure it's well known already, but I'm sure some of you don't know, but the way you think and the way you speak is different. I noticed this in the overview video when I was editing it, because I kept saying obviously like every 2 seconds, and I was like, wow, I don't remember saying obviously every 2 seconds. That's strange. This isn't even part of my vocabulary usually. The way I text online and how I think. It's kind of like you're under pressure, but at the same time, you're not. Because you're just not used to speaking for like a long amount of time. It's interesting. That's definitely something everyone should try out if you want to improve on your speaking abilities. This kind of goes back to the podcast, but a few people asked questions about my voice. Like, I either sound bored or I'm doing like some ASMR bit, which, you know, I promise I'm not. This is my natural voice. Like, if you pull up to O Block, found my house somehow, this is how I would sound like. And I hate when YouTubers like put on a fake energetic voice. Like, although it is obviously meant for kids, it's still kind of annoying and kind of cringy to watch it, because you just end up feeling bad. Like, I'm 18 and I'm watching this guy with fake happy voice shouting. Like, is this really what I want to be watching in my spare time? Instead of like learning stuff, maybe working out even, or literally anything else. I also say literally a lot. I hate it. Reminds me of Leafy though. Who remembers Leafy? Good times. Remember CSGO surfing? But yeah, since I do YouTube for fun, I've never seen a reason to actually like be fake professional or fake myself, like my personality or my voice. I feel like being natural is the best way to go, unless your voice sucks, which I do think is the case for me, but that only applies to music and maybe narration, because I'm a Israeli spy who moved to a third world country, going from a third world country to a third world country. How nice. And although I do YouTube for fun, I am very interested in the stats behind it, like how the algorithm works, and stats in general, like who's watching from what country, what device. Like, it means nothing to me. Like, I'm not gonna optimize my content for like a specific group of people, but still, it's interesting to know. It's like a little curiosity. I think the Duels podcast is very unique, and I believe I'm the right person for this, even though like 70% of the com hates me. Like, even if my own ops like made a Duels podcast, I would sit there hate watching every second of it, because it's free intel. Assuming they're like consistent with it and they don't just drop like one episode a month, then yeah, of course I would not watch it probably, unless it's an interesting person. And I don't blame anyone for hate watching this series, because in like a short amount of time, ever since my own ban, I got like a decent amount of people from every group and background. And I'm still like searching for a few more people to fit, but as I said before, in like 4-3 months, I'm gonna have like everyone on. And you know, if I do get another like Shaden episode that blows up and I actually get like monetization, it's still not gonna mean much to me. I don't think I'm gonna change anytime soon, unless it gets sponsored by like Israel and they send me like 10 million via Bitcoin. Then of course I'll switch up, make some Israeli-based content. Visiting the most peaceful country on the planet. So yeah, if you want to bribe someone, here I am. Hello. You know, if you want your guild to be top 10 wins or just have aura in general, feel free to send me some money and I'll join for a week or maybe a month, depending on the price. But don't be cheap. We can do whatever you want. Bitcoin, CS skins, PayPal, The list goes on, but so does time. So be wise. Also, in general, I believe that you can't really do much in Duels anymore in terms of like YouTube content. But before, like, you could be a bridge main and actually get like some attention and play on scrims on the side, because that's what Cheetah did, and Bucky, whoever else in that little space. I don't really watch Minecraft content anymore. I used to watch Stream, but he stopped uploading manhunts, and then I was like, oh, this is depressing. Time to watch like some of us slop. But I do always get like a little kick out of people like tryharding YouTube when they have like 2 subs. I just clipped the world champion in Sumo. Ranked number 1 in the world for skill, wins, elo, ego, and like having 50 world records. All legit, by the way. Definitely not dodged. And I do get a few DMs like occasionally from people who actually want to start YouTube, especially in like the Duels like scene, quote unquote scene. It's not really a scene. There's like 5 people in here. And I always just tell them to do something else in terms of YouTube. Like, do a different game, do a different subject even. Don't do Duels, like, you'll never blow up. Just look at Tenkrai, for example. Do you really want to be like him? No diss to him, but he literally has like semi-professional, I'm not even sure what the right word for this is. Like, he puts effort into his thumbnails and titles and whatever else, but his views are sometimes shit. Like, sometimes he gets 4 digits, sometimes it's stuck like 90 views. And meanwhile, my slop or whatever, fucking Shippo Central channel, does like 3 digits consistently at all times. By the way, whenever I mean like doing YouTube, I mean for like semi-professional purposes. Like, if you just want to upload your milestones and show your 5 friends about it, then yeah, sure, go for it. That's fine. And it'll be like a nice reminder for you in the future. Like, let's say you started parkour like 2 days ago, and you upload like a parkour rookie milestone video, and then you do iron and whatever else, and in like 2 years you come back and go, wow, good times. That type of scenario is obviously acceptable. Just don't start YouTube thinking that you're gonna like blow up and get money, because even if you do like meet the requirements for ads or donations, you're not gonna get like a monthly wage from it. Kind of reminds me of like OnlyFans. Like, everyone thinks it's easy money, but in reality it's only the top 1% that actually have millions of millions. Meanwhile, the rest of the people are like minimum wage to below minimum wage. Additional law. The name Plonk and my little Happy Apple mascot or PFP that I use everywhere actually came about in the same era-ish. In like 2016 or 2017, I just wanted a new name, like a permanent name, a nickname even, something that I could just use on any social media. And initially, I just kept thinking of like random stuff, and eventually I thought of like sound effects, and it reminds me of like the Limitless movie. Humans only use 20% of the brain. You take this pill and use 100% of the brain, and the main character ends up being like rich and runs for president and can see the future and whatever else. Listen, you should watch that movie, it's awesome. But somewhere deep down in my brain, I thought of Plonk. 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 Plink Plonk. And to me at the time, it sounded like a cute name, so I used it. My PFPs were just random shitposts and memes, but after a few months, I downloaded like 20 packs, like generic PvP packs like 1.8 pot and whatever else. And I did this in a single player world with diamond armor, diamond sword, gapples, just to see like how it would look in a real world scenario. And as I was switching the packs, I found a happy little apple. I remember seeing it and be like, wow, like this is probably the best apple texture I've ever seen in my life. So I made it my PFP, but it was kind of like my character crouching, looking down in F5 and having the apple. So 80% of the PFP was the apple, and the other 20% was just the sky and me in diamond armor. After like a month, I believe, I ended up just yoinking the original file itself from like the texture pack, since you can yoink textures like that pretty easily, but I'm sure most of you already know that. So I ended up getting Plonk and the enchanted version of Plonk and the red Plonk, which is a little cursed, and I made that my PFP, the default naked Plonk. Naked apples, shaved apples. And then after like a year or two, I ended up adding like funny little hats to the apple, just to like make it more cute or give it like a theme. It actually did work. I remember having like a few people with different Plonks on, so like 5 Plonk PFPs. I'll show you the SS. It's not like I keep this secret, but this is ancient. Like, I made this probably like 4 years ago plus. And the latest Plonk I made was the Panama Plonk, which I'm sure you can guess it's the hat I own IRL, the one you see in like almost every picture that I do, because it's on purpose, of course. And yeah, that's been my PFP for almost everything. I'm not really a fan of the edgy PFPs or mainstream PFPs. Like, I remember at the time the Bart Simpson crying with little emojis next to him, and that was like the number one PFP everyone used. And then it was like the cars, and then like the lollies. Okay, fine. Anime girls that are under the age of 18. Or, you know, they're actually 1,000 years old, but they look underage. There you go. There's your little bypass. But yeah, that's the lore for my little apple. And personally, I'm happy with the PFP. I'm glad I found the name and the apple itself, because it's a cute thing. I like cute things, although I do sound a little depressed or bored most of the time. I'm also going to explain some of my IGNs now. Most of my IGNs are pretty simple, but I feel like I should start with Plonk, but the O's and X. So this is once again me trying to have like a brand name or a permanent nickname or a name. And at the same time, I actually main Scarlord, a Screamo rapper. But he has a theme of replacing O's with X's. Like, just Google him, look at a few songs, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I kind of just copied him because I was a fan, of course. I'm not sure when, but I believe like a few years later I ended up getting PlonkOP. I mean, I liked Plonk because it was a singular word, but I wanted the actual real thing. And there's always like room for confusion with names like that. Like, even if you think it's obvious, like YT at the end of the name, like, oh, that's YouTube, but some people might not know that abbreviation and actually think it's part of your name. And then the moment I changed it to PlonkOP, I was very close to quitting the game because I was Sumo God like 7 or 8 or 6, I'm not too sure. And whenever I quit the game, I actually did hop on for like 2 days, I believe, just to mess around and see what changed. I also used to have a monster Optifine cape, like it was just a claw sign. You know, the symbol for Monster, the drink, because I was a huge addict. And I could still be an addict, but I'm poor. But I got on, messed around, and I also changed my name to Plonk666, which, you know, is an edgy name. I accept it. Hence why I hid my name history on like almost everything aside from like 5 things. But actually, I only did that because of the monster thing. You know, monster is like associated with the devil or something. Devil 666. I'm sure you get the reference. It also was my IGN in PUBG and Platins whenever I played those games, but both are changed now to PlonkOP. And of course, I eventually changed it back to PlonkOP, and that's still my IGN today. Of course, I would love to have the name Plonk, but some liptard who probably only plays single player like 5 minutes a year has it, so can't do much there. And of course, I don't think I'm ever going to change the name unless Microsoft like transfers me the name, which I don't think is possible unless I become mainstream. So it is probably 0% chance of actually occurring in the real world. But hey, we can always stream, right? And also the name PlonkOP has actual influence and power now. Although if someone did snipe the IGN PlonkOP and actually play the game, they would probably experience a few things. A bit of attention. A bit being an understatement. It would be a fun time for some of us. What's my deal with Femboys? So I'll make 2 statements real quick and you can argue which one is more false. So statement number 1, I'm not gay. For now at least. Statement number 2, I believe femboys are the future of society. So I'll start with statement number 1. Although I love spamming femboys, you know, oiled up femboys, Navi being oiled up before GTA 6, which we all know will happen soon enough, hopefully. Those are still memes. Like, femboys, although they are real, it's still a meme on the internet. Like, you're a femboy, you have low T, you get it. And although I do like trans girls and femboys, they don't exist in the EU. Like, every femboy in the EU is fake. Listen, go to r/femboys EU and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, these are just literal men lapping. But you know, it does make sense. Like, EU does have like quote unquote healthier food. I do wonder why the EU has banned so many chemicals, which are still allowed in North America. I mean, it's not a surprise that everyone's like sat there like spamming fucking soy milk and just having 0 tea in general, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. Again, unless you turn into like some Twitter freak, then yeah, it's a bad thing. If you turn into a little sussy wussy femboy who's 5'6", then yeah, it's a W. It's a +1 for society. And me, of course. So statement number 2. What I mean by that is, I feel like the average girl nowadays is definitely less submissive, less nice, less friendly in general. And this isn't like everyone, of course. I'm mainly talking about the average of the average. Of course, there's still some nice girls left, but my type, or while most people probably want to just shut indoors, like me, and unless we have a mutual hobby or a mutual game, we will never meet. So the only girls I actually see are just bitches, or gold diggers, or just in general bimbos slash whores. But that doesn't mean I'm suddenly some incel who's going to do some funny stuff IRL to a building. I've already accepted that most likely for the next few years I'll probably be alone, which is not a bad thing. I'll actually get to that later on in the sadness chapter, so stick around and don't bother skipping because that's immoral and it hurts my stats, which I care about a lot. But I feel like femboys represent everything that girls used to be. You know, nice, cuddly, someone that loves you. I'll put on some green text. This sounds like some made up story because it sounds too good to be true. But hey, in the 0% chance it's real, I would instantly turn gay if a femboy like that appeared in my life. Someone that actually cares for you and just wants to cuddle and won't randomly like try and clip the king. And you know, some femboys do actually look legit. Like, if I put my arm around this guy, walked into a club, do you really think anyone would know that it's a guy? At least in the UK, because the average person here is like a 3 out of 10. No diss. And I better not see any nationalists in the comments piping up again. Like, just because you were born in India doesn't mean it's the best country ever. You shouldn't be a sheep like that. It's disgusting. A specific country pays you money. Like Israel, for example. A nice little country. Once again, I'm an average guy. Daddy didn't own a $1 trillion company and gave me like 40 mil when I was 14, so if North Korea, China, Russia wants to give me a few bitcoins or anything else, then I'll happily push anything you want. Like, did you guys know that Russia is actually a beautiful, huge country, lots of land, lots of snow, you can play there, and also like Rocky 4 was based on it, so come on. I know everyone wants to go outside and like stop spamming push-ups in the snow and grow like a huge beard. But you know, they have nice soup, they have nice pastries, and they have 10 out of 10 baddies. I'm sure we all want to tap them. Like every single guru cook online like has some, I was gonna say underage, but like 18 or 19, fuck knows. But, you know, there's always like some skinny girl next to him with a fat ass or normal ass, but she's like a 10 out of 10 in terms of appearance, so go visit the country, kiss the snow, kiss the little Finnegan fox at home. And I do like how everyone calls me a femboy now, because I suddenly defend femboys and trans girls in Lobby 1. I feel like I should be offended by that since, you know, my whole thing is having high tea and not being a sheep, but I've been accusated so much that I literally feel nothing whenever I see someone accuse me of something, which I'm not. Like being a cheese pizza enjoyer or defending them, or even being a femboy. Like, that's the opposite of who I am, but I've just been so drained. Like, I'm sure you've seen that in Lobby 1 if you sit in there a lot. Like, I'll get called a femboy and I'll just go whatever and move on. Same with like the cheese pizza stuff. Like sometimes people would just say that I'm one of them, and I'll just instantly reply with free easied because I already know who they're talking about or what the scenario is like in their head. Another thing is, I feel like there's definitely a few straight people or quote unquote straight people in this scenario that definitely would fuck a femboy or a trans girl in the right scenario. But because of society and, you know, the whole, it has a dick, so it's bad. Like, even though the little femboy twink is attractive, it has a dick, which means he's bad. Same with trans girls. Like, they might look like real girls, but guess what? They have like that 2 centimeter meat thing, which means you're mentally banned. And it is funny when like those types of people actually like admit, you know, maybe back in the day when everything was more fair-ish. Like, although the top 1% still existed, it was definitely more fair for the average person. Like you could get a job at McDonald's, work for 2 years, and buy a house. Nowadays, if you tell people that exact scenario, they'll just think that you're naive or stupid in general, because that's literally impossible. But yeah, I do feel like the average girl nowadays is just more lazy and just more sluggish in general and just expects the guy to carry her to the top. And of course, all the good types, like all the shy girls who are loyal or just genuinely want to cuddle and enjoy life with you, are just stuck inside, rotting away, being stuck on like social media. Which, you know, most guys are also doing that, so I can't really judge anyone for doing that. And there's not a really decent reason to actually like quote unquote main the real world. Like, what are you gonna do? Buy Starbucks, sit around, be real. I mean, traveling also exists, but come on. Have you seen the fucking France vlogs or literally any EU country vlog? I sometimes watch them for Ragebait. Like, I'll be so mentally neutral that I need to get like mad randomly. So I'll just watch those like immigrants pipe up. And I'm like, oh my god, I want to do so much stuff right now. Boom, boom. Teddy TNT, boom, boom. Maybe I should make a rap song or a grime song, technically. Start talking about the IDF pulling up to people's houses and clipping muttons. Yeah. But regardless, I believe femboys are truly the future of society, for men at least. And if you're a girl, come on. Like, look at that shiny, soft skin. Like, there's no hair. It's like a little plushie, a little toy, even. You can pick them up and do whatever you want. But pretty much it all just boils down to I want someone that's nice and cuddly. Someone that won't, like, try and gain control over you or power over you. Like, I'll admit this once again. I hate admitting things, but I'll admit it. I used to eat it like 5 years ago. And there was this nice girl that I used to talk to, and eventually she tried to gain control over the king. We had a nice little relationship, generic, played Hypixel together. Nothing too crazy. And no, I didn't send my Apple to anyone. I literally never sent intelligence before to anyone. I might have been young, but I still had like a functioning brain. And this was before I gathered intel on like everything and anyone. And in general, just learned how to blend in, like a little spy. But yeah, eventually one day, I'm pretty sure she just showed her true self. Like she became comfortable around me and pretty much just wanted to have power over me, which is normal for some people. And, most guys would just be fine with it, but not for me. I don't like arguing with people, hence why I'm not in any Discord servers. Like, I'm only in tracking for the bands, and that's it. And of course, one other server, but that's just me and like 3 other people. Like, you'll never catch me in some shitty public server in a VC. Yo, bro, let's play Among Us. Fuck off. Although I feel like I've talked about everything, I should definitely emphasize the fact that I don't hate girls. I feel like there's some liptard who's gonna fall for that. Who's gonna assume I'm like some incel because I'm against gold diggers and the average girl nowadays. My strong disdain for sadness. So whenever I was like 16, school was about to end for me. Like I was gonna go to college because that's a normal thing here in the UK. Like you finish school at 16, or high school technically, and you go to college, usually for free. And then you do a few years there, depending on what you want to do, like 1 year till 8 years, for example, then you go to university if you want like the highest possible education. But before I finished high school, or school, I already had a feeling that I just wanted to be isolated fully in general. So I was already planning on like cutting everyone off, not in a dickish way, like fuck you, I'll never see you again. But I was already planning on deleting all of my social media and just any traces of me online. Like if you searched my name, there would be nothing. I mean, I did this because I knew I couldn't trust anyone, like everyone was fake. I won't go into detail because I doubt many of you care that much, unless you want to spot fake people in your life, but the chances are like 90% of the people you know are fake, or maybe higher if you mean the IRL world. But after I finished school, I already like purged everything. Like my name just did not exist on the internet, which, looking back on it, I'm glad I did it because I ended up being a little known on the Minecraft com, so safety wise it's a good decision. Wouldn't want anyone to track me down like that easily. Hey, it takes one to know one. But then after like a little break from finishing school, I ended up going to college for a year and then doing another year because I wanted an extended diploma. Listen, I'm happy to like spill all the details, but this is considered intel, and my entire job, non-existent job, is to gather intel on people, so I can't say too much, but maybe one day I'll happily leak some stuff. I pretty much got put in the highest class like whenever I began college, so it was like level 1 till 3, and level 3 being the highest, and I got put on level 3. And then, I got a level 3 diploma, and then I did an extended diploma, which, truthfully, never made a difference in my life. Never helped me. Not a single second was actually useful in that class, or in general. Like, I'm pretty sure I could have just dropped out of school at like 14, and I wouldn't have changed at all. But hey, it's a good little cover story, I guess. Everyone needs to waste time and look productive. Oh no, actually I do have a life. I go to school. I go to college, but then you speak for them for like 5 minutes and they're like, yeah, I've literally forgotten everything. And whatever we're learning right now, I know for a fact I won't care. But from a young age, I already realized like how fake the real world is, since I've experienced something similar a few times, but I was never emotional. I was always like confused, which is a surprise considering I was like 13 or 14. Like whenever something happened, I was like, wow, how do we be friends? Like, why is this happening? This does not make logical sense. So from a young age, I was already like semi-hateful, or just, I guess, confused. Not too sure. But after I turned 18, I was pretty much just alone fully. Not fully, but you get the idea. Like, no friends and often. On purpose, by choice, of course. It's not like I put on a little mini skirt and went on my knees and be like, please God, give me friends. Give me a girlfriend. Give me a 10 out of 10 Israel baddie. I was like, okay, I should get used to this. This is my new life, starting from now on. And yeah, pretty quickly you experience some little side effects of the new lifestyle. Although it didn't hit me too much because I was a pretty average guy, I didn't have like some iron deficiency or mineral deficiency in general. So I wasn't all like already semi-depressed or whatever. I just went from average to being used to it. But yeah, for a while, I'm not even sure how long, maybe a few months, maybe a year. It was a pretty negative experience. Although 95% of the time, I was fine. 5% of the time, I was like, I wish I had friends to talk to. I wish I could do something. Eventually, I just snapped out of it. I just became neutral. Hence why I sound like this and not full of emotion. Which I would argue is a good thing. This is also a way to leak intelligence. Oh my god, I've picked on him like 50 times in this fucking podcast. But if you go up to him and you ask him about his little thick mummy, do you really think he would sound the same? Or do you think he would like sound more worried? I mean, it's not even a question, it's a rhetorical question, of course. As I'm sure for most people, that's how you can gather some intel quickly, IRL at least, and maybe in VCs and Discord. You can always ask questions, and from the way they speak, you can tell that something's not right, or that whatever they're saying is not true, or they don't want to talk about it, which implies that they're hiding something. But hey, that's my job. But yeah, whenever I was like 19, I realized that I couldn't just sit around and be like semi-happy with my life. I had to either be like fully happy, or I should just fold and give up. So me being a very logical person, I obviously just went with full isolation. I'm not even sure what I even did, but I kind of just accepted reality and be like, this is who I am. Like, why are you even sad? Like, let's be real. If someone was here, like, you would just get annoyed instantly. And I was right, as I usually am. And it's not even like I missed anything. It's more so just the side effects of being lonely and not like using a voice. Like I remember before the podcast, my voice would always be like crunchy after 30 minutes of speaking and like really dry because I don't use my voice. So whenever I do actually like open my mouth once a month or once every 2 months, it would be untrained or unused. So I would get a dry throat really quickly. But that didn't impact my speech, it seems. And everyone online thought I was like 26 plus because of my dry conversations, I guess. Like I still used lol, but it's kind of spammy. But I didn't use like any emojis or slang or gifs or memes or anything. I was always like straight to the point, being very direct and honest. But yeah, eventually I actually also started picking up like exercising again because I used to semi-work out like when I was like 14, but it wasn't real. And then, I don't know, eventually I felt the benefits of it. I'm pretty sure it was like some mental sharpness or clarity even. It just felt like I gained more mental strength, I guess, to just handle stuff. Like whenever I was like 17, 16, I used to just binge watch gore because I didn't want to be like affected by it. Like I know a lot of normies are against the emotion part. Like if someone says that sadness is useless, everyone's like, oh no, you need it to be a human. That's what makes us human and not AI. Well, in that case, what about all the lonely people who didn't choose to be lonely like me? What about them who are suffering mentally? And what about the people who go boom boom? Maybe they should just man up, stop crying. And you better not mention therapy. Like, not everyone is like Area 25 who can splash like 2.5k a day. Listen, for 2.5k a day, you could just slap down stocks or buy like a femboy for like a day or two. Not that I'd know, of course. But yeah, the whole goal thing was just to mentally train myself, I guess. It's kind of like working out, but for your brain. I know it might not make sense, and I'm being very vague as always, but I could easily make this like a 10-hour topic, which I'm not going to do. Although this is a podcast, this is still a Minecraft channel, and this is literally called a Duels Podcast for a reason. This is just some extra little lore on the side, so you have a better understanding of me as a person. But yeah, to go back on topic, I pretty much accepted my reality and just moved on and tried to enjoy life. And eventually it actually worked out pretty well. I'm not sure when, but all of my self-hate just vanished one day. Like I actually just enjoyed life. Every second of it was awesome. Not that I was just like going around my house like smiling, but you get the idea. Mentally happy, mentally at peace. And that's something I actually do enjoy a lot. Like waking up whenever you want and not feeling anything. Because I know a lot of people wake up and they're like stressed instantly, like, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this one birthday too coming up. Ugh. But then I wake up and I can literally like spend 19 hours like working out or making music if I wanted to. But you get the idea. Inner peace and like unlimited time and motivation, but I'll explain that later on because it is actually a pretty funny story and it does involve Monster. I am definitely not beating the femboy allegations now. Also, I hate how I pronounce the word sadness. Like, I sound Scottish for some reason, which is pretty disgusting, I'd say, but goes against my rules, you know, leaking intel. If I sound funky, people will ID the country, and yeah, can't have that happening to me. Especially when I'm repping Israel baddies in Lobby 1, which I know all of you want to hit, so let's not pretend. Or lap even, because that's illegal nowadays. But yeah, I find the emotion disgusting. Which I should clarify, I only find it disgusting for me, like, semi-recently, like a month or two ago, I believe. I was outside, which, you know, crazy little event, like 1 in a billion event occurring. It's like Dreams RNG, his little manhunt. But yeah, I was leaving a building and I saw a girl crying and I felt so bad deep down. I just really wanted to hug her. But however, I'm a man. I'm not sure if any of you knew that. And I also have facial hair, so there's a chance that something might go wrong, which I know is a crazy thing to say out loud. Like, you know, there's a person crying, and here I am like, oh, I'm not doing anything to them. You know, I might get arrested for eating grapes at McDonald's. Once again, I know that sounds crazy, but welcome to 2025, I guess. But yeah, whenever I saw the girl crying, it was more like a protector vibe. Like, I saw someone vulnerable, like, crying. So although I hate sadness and I find it disgusting, it's only for me as a person. Like if I feel it, I don't know, get mad. Although not really mad, like annoyed. I mean, although every month I do have like this little cloudy feeling. I want to say it's sadness, but I don't know if I can even feel that anymore. But my entire brain just becomes negative, and it's weird too because within the first second I already know it's fake. Like I'm not actually sad. It's like my brain just randomly became bipolar or something. It is funny because it actually does feel real. It's like I'm actually sad at something, but in reality, there's just nothing. It's like 1 second I'm fine, and yeah, next I'm in this dark little cloud. Like that's how it feels like. It's like there's a dark cloud inside of my brain. But once again, it's not like I'm doing anything about it. It's not like I suddenly start crying. It's kind of like, oh, well, I know this is fake, so if this doesn't go away in like 30 seconds, I'm going to get annoyed. Because I see it as a weakness, which I know not something I should say. We're all humans, not AI. That's what separates us from AI, guys. I've always been interested in the human brain and stuff like that. Like what the human body can accomplish and just in general, how it all functions. I'll give you a scenario on why I work out actually. So 2 people both get put in like little isolated cells, I guess. You know, one person, he's like, oh, this is too much. You know, I haven't seen my friends, family, and whatever else in 2 seconds. I'm gonna go boom boom. And you know, the other guy, he's like, okay, I'm gonna be in here for a while. Let me do some push-ups. Maybe he found a way to like write stuff. You get the idea pretty much. It's like a too long didn't read version of some famous saying, poem, meme, image. I hope you get it. I don't want to explain this to anyone. It would take like an entire essay. But the too long didn't read is 2 people in the same scenario. One folds, the other one just continues living on. That's pretty much what my mindset is. And, you know, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not being like Andrew Tate, like, oh, you know, depression isn't real. Just wake up, do push-ups, and fuck femboys, and you'll be fine. Like, I do recognize that it's real, hence why I try my very hardest to, like, remove it from my brain. And of course, if, like, someone else is suffering, I'm gonna feel really bad. Deep down, of course. You know, on the outside, I have to have no emotion. But there is, like, some part of me, like, at least 1 or 2% of me, that actually does feel bad for, like, you know, trans people getting shit on. Actual trans people, by the way, like, the fucking 1% freaks. Every community has, like, the loud top 1%, which ruins everyone else. I mean, even for gamers, like, most gamers just want to have fun. They hop on with their friends, or maybe they want to play a solo game like Red Dead 2. And then there's the top 1%, the loud minority, which are like the incels, the 19-hour daily spammers. You get the idea. It's pretty much the stereotype based on gamers. So yeah, hopefully you don't take this the wrong way. I do feel bad for people who suffer mentally, but I still find it so interesting. Humans have created some really advanced stuff. Like, look at CPUs, look at rockets, even look at cars. Like, sure, you might have a basic idea of how it functions, but think of how much effort was required to like actually produce all of it. Like, yeah, it was made in a factory, but still, every single component was so precise. Like, everything has its own role. And again, the way it functions, which not many people know because it's not required. It's kind of like smartphones and the internet. Like, we have a basic understanding of it, but only like 0.1% of people actually know how it all functions. Most people just see a phone and they start drooling on it and go, McDonald's kiosk, fuck off. And it's the same for cars. Most people understand that you have to put fuel, something happens in the engine, smoke comes out, puff puff, smoking on that pack, and the car just magically works. But unless you're a car guy, you're not gonna know like the actual lore. Stuff like that's very interesting. All of it is very advanced, which you can't just like go outside and like craft a car out of nothing. But then once again, the same people who made cars and all of this advanced stuff like CPUs, they end up just folding what seems to be nothing. Like their own brain just like dicks them over, which is insane. Like one day you could be curing cancer, and then the next day your own brain just goes, okay, I'm sad. It's time to end this speed run, and boom. Like it does not make any sense from a logical standpoint, of course. Hence why, I prioritize my mental health. Although technically I'm not sure if that's even correct. Because I pretty much just jumped into a pit of lava to become immune to damage, so whatever. If it works, right? To go back on the self-hate thing, it wasn't anything serious. I just realized when I'm recording this that I sound like fake depressed or something, that I actually did something, but no. I didn't slice any apples. It's more so just all mental stuff. And it wasn't even serious. It's not like I actually did anything. Like, I just blended in. It's more so just I didn't like specific aspects of myself. But eventually, as I said, it just puffed. Now I live in eternal happiness. Mentally, of course. But hey, if I did have 40 mil, I would vanish without a trace. IRL, of course, since I prefer the online world for many reasons, which I guess I can also quickly mention before. But, IRL, if you're like under 18, actually under 26, 25, 28, 29, you're still considered young, so whatever you say, it kind of just gets brushed off. Like some little kid comes up to you and says, there's a house on fire. You're like, it's probably a prank, don't care, fuck off. But on the internet, if you follow basic grammar, you'll be considered as an individual. Your opinion will be equal to everyone else. So you could actually like get respect. But respect was always a big thing for me. Whenever someone brushed me off, whether the generic or you're too young to understand, I don't know, I felt like disrespect. Like, although I get what they're coming from. Like, congrats, you lived like 10 years more than me. There are 14-year-olds who literally have 50 million in Bitcoin, and here you are, like age 30, being insanely dirt poor and in debt. So what does that say about you? Which isn't my standpoint, it's just a counterpoint, which I know isn't even valid in the first place, but normies don't have logic. Oh yeah, another quick thing I should mention before moving on, but you shouldn't copy this lifestyle unless you actually do want to be fully isolated from everyone and you already have like almost no friends. Because if you're an average guy and you do enjoy like hanging out with other people and you're just in general social and you rely on that social aspect to survive mentally and whatever else, then of course don't do it. This lifestyle only suits like needs or social rejects, ugly people, or the black pilled calm, I guess. Black pill being the people who blame like genetics for everything, like oh, I can't have friends or any girlfriends because I'm 5'9" and I'm not 6'3" or something. They pretty much just blame genetics instead of like actually doing something about their life, which funny. And once again, I only chose this lifestyle because I knew everyone around me was fake, and in general, I couldn't be bothered like speedrunning people because that's what I already do online. I add someone and within like 30 minutes I can see everything about them, like their personality, what they want, if they're real or not. Which does sound like a cheat code now that I'm thinking about it, but it's not as interesting as it might sound, because you just end up hating everyone more. Deep down, of course. It's like I'm going to go outside and punch a homeless person. And plus, in general, I don't just hate everyone because they're quote-unquote normies or they think like everyone else. It's only whenever I speak to them and find out more about them as a person. And plus, you know, if you're an average person and you like help everyone else out, then of course I'm not gonna hate you. You know, like all the nuns or priests that help the homeless or children in general. Of course, I like them as people, and I respect them. I just don't like the people who are sheep and like willingly ignorant in a negative way. I won't go into detail again. This is once again a Minecraft channel. Can't have any serious topics, but I feel like this is a good topic on the side. This would definitely belong on like a real podcast where it's just two friends talking shit and randomly talking about like aliens. That sounds like Joe Rogan. I know there are a few of you who just only want to listen to the IRL stuff of people. I know some of you skip the lore, and in general, most of the Minecraft related topics, just to hear like the little juicy secrets or that little Lego hobbies. But hey, you know, not everyone is social, and some people truly only play Minecraft, and that's the only thing they do in their life. So this is kind of like a part 2, I guess, technically, to why I work out, but I usually work out for the mental clarity, mental sharpness, and you know, I'm not gonna be like one of the gym mains and pretend to do everything. Like, I completely don't care about my legs, which, get that image out of your head. I'm not buff, so it's okay. But I only do it for the mental stuff. But of course, once again, I am a man, so muscles get bigger equals me happy. Number go up, me happy. Like, although I do enjoy like seeing my muscles get bigger and whatever else, it's more of a side reward because my main goal is of course the mental stuff because I just want to be sharp and logical at all times. Like, I never want to be emotional. But you know, now that I talk about it, I do sound like some fucking general from COD. Russia's gonna nuke us, guys. What do we do? What do we do? And there's two types of people. One's like, fucking nuke them back, bruv. And then the second, more logical guy's like, okay, well, how credible is that intel? Are we sure this is gonna happen? Where are the nukes exactly at currently? Are they launched? Because for all you know, there was just a false report, like, you know, a balloon was, I don't know, spotted, and it was like mistagged or some shit. You get the idea though. You need logical and emotionless people for those specific roles. Like, imagine in Modern Warfare in COD, the OG Modern Warfare by the way, whenever the Russians invaded America, like, imagine the fucking panicked general. He's like, just fucking nuke New York. Oh, that would be actually funny to see in like some comedy special, some movie. Someone make it happen. Thanks. But I'm sure it's already a thing. If you are curious about like what kind of equipment I use, just check out my community posts. I believe it's the Happy Twink Tuesday post with my little fake Plonk plushie. But yeah, I mainly use dumbbells because it's simple. Because everyone knows how to lift a dumbbell. And there's like a few unique variations of working out with it. It's not like some of the other workouts where you can only do it one way. With dumbbells, there's definitely a few ways to do it. Listen, just go Google it if you really care that much. Like, go on YouTube and type like dumbbell exercises, and you'll see like 20 plus. They are pretty interesting and very helpful because it tackles like different areas of the muscle. I think everyone should actually work out though. Like, even if you're 16 right now and you're listening to this, I think you should start doing push-ups. Not even a lot. Like, if you can't do a single push-up, that should be your main goal. Like, try 30 minutes a day to do a push-up. Like, obviously research how to have proper form and whatnot, but you should definitely try it. You'll see the clarity and the rewards in no time, hopefully. And also, if you're on the younger side and you're watching this, then stay away from social media. Like, only use it for education. Don't look at the people flexing, because remember, social media is only filled with winners. You know, like the stock market, for example, or Bitcoin. You only see winners unless you're on Wall Street bets. Then you'll see a lot of losses, which is awesome. But don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just take it at your own speed. And obviously don't use steroids. It's not worth it. Like, sure, you can bypass the quote-unquote grind, but do you really want to get clipped at 25? And when I say clipped, you already know that I'm talking about Minecraft clipping, you know, where you lose to someone while they're recording. But yeah, don't use steroids. And don't have an ego. And don't compare yourself to anyone on social media, or even your friends. Unless it's for a fun little competition, of course. And even in general, just don't compare yourself to anything on social media. I feel like this is very generic advice, but some people still do it to this day. I don't know, it's just like rage bait pretty much, for everyone even. Like, even if you're mentally strong, it's still rage bait. Because someone's gonna be like, oh well, this guy's bigger than you, so you're a shitter. But my main objective of working out is just to get the challenge, like pushing myself. Like I remember a year ago, I was obsessed with VR boxing, which technically is just shadow boxing, but it actually helped me so much mentally and physically. I remember being so drained that I literally could feel my own lungs. Like, I don't exactly know the feeling. Like, I remember I could, like, smell blood because I was so dry. I was like a dry little sunflower, drained, balls drained by the femboy. But it was so much fun, though. It really felt like I just ran nonstop, like 10 hours straight. And, I couldn't even click my mouse properly. And this isn't even for like Minecraft, it was just general like browsing the web, watching YouTube videos. I actually was like fake disabled or something. I could still move my hands, but I'm sure you get the idea. I was just extremely, extremely sore. I don't work out like daily. It's more like once a week, and it's not even for that long, but I always push myself. Although that's kind of dangerous. I'm still young. And plus, I'm pretty sure it's better than the people who go to the gym and like waste 2 hours like doom scrolling and walking on the treadmill, really. The treadmill is so funny because, like, you could just go outside and run. Like, you do know that parks exist, those green little fields where you could sprint with your little doge if you have one. But then again, you probably shouldn't listen to me since I might be like 20% Jewish and I slap all of my money in stocks. So, of course, I'm going to be against the monthly subscription slop. But if you do need like a range of weights, then of course go to the gym. And when I mean by a range, I mean like a decent amount of range. Like not the type I have, where it's like 1 kilo to 15 kilo, I believe, on the black dumbbells. Listen, just go to the community post, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, and to go back on the advice real quick, listen, you're not gonna get like a 6-pack within 2 seconds. Like, you have to put in the work, the grind. It's like grinding an ascended title, ironically. Like, just do it every day. Do like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Do a few push-ups, or whatever you're aiming to get or achieve out of working out. Just do that slowly every day. And don't stress. Like, I see a lot of people like spamming the weighing scale like every 2 seconds, like, oh, I lost 2.6 pounds. I'm the GOAT. And then they just end up regaining the weight because they've been on some really shitty diet and mentally they've been craving like snacks and sugary stuff in general. I mean, just remember who you're doing it for. You're doing it for you, no one else. Hopefully, at least. But if you are doing it for someone else, snap out of it, because this is something only you should care about. It's fine to post like accomplishment pics or whatever, but just don't fall into that little social media rat trap, I guess, or rage bait circle. I barely work out, as I said before, like only once a week, but I already see the benefits and the rewards. My lobby 1 activities. So I actually lobby sit for a few reasons, and 90% of it is just looking for podcast guests because, surprise, surprise, no one has the balls to actually DM me, aside from like 2 people. There's a lot of people who want to do the podcast secretly, but they're too scared to like VC with me, or too scared to like approach me. If you're an outsider, yeah, then it definitely looks a little iffy. I just look like I have a huge ego. The whole, I have 9 world records, $1 million account, the most accusated Duels player in the entire planet, which, is true, but I don't care about it that much. I don't know, I feel like if you care about the podcast, you would hopefully know that I'm just a chill guy looking for some fun with Femboys. It's not all that deep. I'm not gonna like talk crazy shit in DMs or something, or try and pack you. I do just want to have a neutral conversation with everyone. And it's their episode after all, I just want to let them speak. And of course I'm gonna ask like follow-up questions because I wanna like get all of their story out, not just little bits. Assuming it's interesting, of course. But the other 10% is just rage baiting, baiting in general, fishing for intel. And I rage bait pretty much everyone and anyone. You'll see me spamming like free Israel, free all the cheese pizza enjoyers. Like literally anything that pops up in my mind, I'll say it. Because I know like most of these Jules mains are pretty much identical in how they think, which is kind of funny. Because I'm sure like 60% of you would consider Jules mains. Sorry, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who accusate me. Although they most likely hate watching me, so... Which, is understandable. If my ops also had a series like this, I would definitely binge watch every episode, gather all the intel. I find it hilarious how easy it is to rage bait people, because I used to always like say the same shit. Like whenever someone accusated me, I would always say, yeah, I'm cheating. So what? It's allowed. Top 10 wins as watchdog bypass. And a lot of people actually fell for it, like For example, the number one parkour wins, and someone else. Actually, there's a lot of leaderboard players that fell for it, but I'm not exactly sure if they asked me, but some of them asked me, and some of them just saw it from like an SS, I believe. But it's like someone asking me if I'm botting, and I said, yeah. You know, I got like 410k wins, 9 world records, 0 bans. No one can do shit to me. And of course, this was before the year ban, so it was actually like semi-valid. You know, I was surprised that actual leaderboard players fell for that bait because it's so obviously untrue. Like, you bought the 20k wins in Sumo. After that point, it's already risky as fuck to bot. Like, yeah, some people got divine, but that's insanely rare. And then there's this guy with 400k wins, 0 bans. Which, you know, I think is a great segment to talk about my bans. So I do have 3 bans on Hypixel. In 2021, I got a lag ban, which happened because my ping spiked to 7 or 8 digits. So yeah, I literally had 10 million ping when ironically. So I actually do have an SS of this in real time. It's one of my thumbnails. I'm not going to put an SS, just go scroll down, you'll see it. It's like first person POV, Hulk skin, and it's me like at the very back of the map, but it pretty much triggered Watchdog because, come on, I was literally flying. It was like some new flying method where you F3S and get hits stacked and you go flying. And you know, it's kind of funny looking back on this now because, like, what, 5 years, 6 years, everyone, like all the nons, all the mains for everything, there's always been that one saying that, you know, you can't get false ban for ping or PvP. And then I eventually got banned for both. But yeah, on my second ban, this is my actual real ban. It was a chat ban for saying swatted, but context matters, I believe, for everything. You know, just because someone says you like eating grapes doesn't mean it's true. So this was during my prime, I guess, of Sumo, like whenever I did 1k dailies. We all know about me spamming accuracy like every 2 seconds. Like I literally have the most crashed wins, quote unquote boosted wins, if you know, you know, from the previous chapters. The problem with saying accuracy with like quick text or auto text, whatever it's called, is that you get the anti-spam thing. So my auto text evolved. It went from with accuracy with a bunch of numbers to accuracy with a few words like L sniped by Wukong, 500k for whitelist, you know, stupid shit like that. And eventually I added swatted because, you know, in my mind it was like, well, you're gonna leave the game, so it's like you're getting DDoSed, but not really because I'm still gonna see you again. It's more of a SWAT moment. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I know. I'm not gonna go into detail once again because this episode's already long enough. If you care that much, just DM me. I'll tell you the whole logic. But too long didn't read. It's just a stupid meme. You know, I feel like if the admins looked at my daily or even weekly chat logs, they would have realized that it's bullshit. Like I've said the word swatted like 700 plus times within like 2 days. So yeah. I remember when I got banned for it, a lot of people were just laughing. Not at me, but with me because I got banned for crashing bots, which are cheating. So, you know, cheating is okay. Downloading cheese pizza is always okay in the Duels com. Never forget. But, you know, saying funky stuff, no, no, no. I know a lot of you are biased towards this because this literally happens to a lot of people. It's like you're talking shit to a cheater, which, you know, you're both in the wrong. But it's funny that the legit person gets punished first compared to the cheater. You probably didn't even get banned. Probably has like 2,000 bad war sounds, but hey, what do I know? It's all just allegations, right? So yeah, that was a 30-day chat ban. I actually haven't been muted in like over 5 years, which crazy, I know. But then I got unbanned, and I just kept doing 1k dailies. This was during when the status thing came out, I believe. Like, you know, if you get banned and then get banned again, it's a year ban, like that system. So I kept spamming 1k dailies because at the time, I believe no one got false banned in Sumo yet. Like, no one discovered about the whole double clicking thing. Now, I do remember HB, some Asian guy, 1-1 loss ratio, Sumo Divine. Complete shitter. He got false banned, but of course, since he's Asian, he was just sat there like geeking in some Villanark server, so no one cared. And then, you know, I made that little montage. And then after like a month or two, I believe, I also got false banned for a whole year because of the chat ban. So it's not like I got banned for cheating in like the last 90 days or whatever. It was more like I got a chat ban, and then I got a false cheating ban, which made it a year. But hey, just because I got false doesn't mean you're gonna get falsed. Unless you're legit and you play like 19 hours a day, then you should probably be more careful. And if the server lags, just log off. Don't even touch it. Don't even bother lobby sitting even. And it's funny too, because I would have been at the highest rank in Sumo, Ascended L, tier 50, 590k wins. Since I was doing 1k dailies, it was just a matter of time. But then Lilith got patched and I believe I would have been like tier 44, 45, 46, somewhere around there. So I would have had like 40k wins left, and of course I would play undodged 40k wins easily. You know, whenever I did get unbanned, I did do a 1k daily for a singular day, which I know that sounds really stupid. Like, you got false ban for PvP, and here you are just doing a 1k daily while being on like high ban status. But hey, sometimes you gotta YOLO. That's probably like the most illogical thing I did, but I was just hyped up. I was like, I'm gonna get number 1 Sumo finally. Not that I care too much, but hey, I got a lap in lobby 1, like the rest of them. But whenever my ban status does go back to low, I'm gonna pull out my Kane 120 and go back to double clicking. I'm not sure if I'll do 22 CPS or if I'll cap it to like 15, 16. And of course, I'm not gonna like grind Sumo again, since no dodging, and I play the game for fun. Which I'm surprised people actually quote unquote grind. Like, even doing 100 plus daily is so miserable nowadays. And I know I'm the guy who did a 1k daily and dodged, but hey, I have like all the game sense and fake skill. Oh yeah, whenever I got unbanned, it was hilarious because I literally just kept acting paranoid as fuck. Like, I remember people asking me like, you bed wars and, you know, the usual stuff, and I was like, nope. Like, you know, I start speed bridging, I'm gonna get blacklisted. I go into a housing and like freeze for 2 seconds, that's it. Perm IP blacklist. Like, the admins are literally gonna pull my IP and like sell it for like $50. And even in lobbies, like I remember the server randomly freezing and like kicking people to limbo. And every time the server froze, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna get false banned for a year again. This is it. Peace, everyone. And I'm not even like clicking or anything. I'm literally just standing still. Because, you know, in my mind, like, the server's like fucked. Like, you do parkour too quickly, you're gonna get blacklisted for B-hop or some shit. I don't know. I don't trust it. Remember the one UHC YouTuber who got like false banned for being stuck in water and his CPU being like overclocked or being a little too quick? Like, what if that happened to a person like me who doesn't have any power with like the staff team? I would just get fucking dicked, and I would have to accept it. Like, I mean, the guy literally hopped on like 4 alts and got false banned within like what, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and until then, no one believed him. Same with the staff. That's crazy. You know, it is funny that out of everyone I get false banned, okay, fine. HB, Ice, I think. Since I do remember talking to him and he mentioned the whole double clicking thing. Plus some of the Sumo mains know about it. Quote unquote Sumo mains. But now everyone's like fucking paranoid to play the game. And by everyone I mean all the real grinders, not the fake laps, like Suzu. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason why lobbies sit nowadays. It's just so I don't get false banned. Because I literally cannot do anything else. Like, even if Lilith was a thing, I wouldn't be pushing my luck. Like, I would probably do 300 daily, 500 daily maybe, and I would be clicking 12 CPS as I still am on the G Pro. You know, unironically, I love lobby sitting now. Like, past the lobby, there's like a little pit, and I love that place so much. Like, the amount of drama and stuff you can do in there is insane. I love being petty there. Like, someone hits me once, that's it, you're getting clipped. Once again, clipped means losing a game in Minecraft while the other person is recording. Nothing else. By the way, did you know that I like The Sopranos? That's an awesome show because it's based on me. You should go watch it now. Also, shout out to my one sub that knows about the streaming service that I use for movies and stuff. I know you're watching this, so you're awesome. And keep following that path. You know, there's a reason I made Pirate Plonk, and it's not because he looked cute with a pirate hat. But yeah, the pit is awesome. Like, the amount of drama that happens there, like, there's like 2 20-plus-year-olds who pretty much act like 7C with the whole bait stuff. Like, some femboy said he was like 15 or 14, and the guy literally just ran up to him and started like spam shifting on him, which, you know what that implies. I don't know, it's just hilarious. I kept telling him that, you know, it's okay to do this type of stuff because the Duels.com accepts you. You know, it's always been allowed. As long as you main my mode, of course. Like, if you main Sumo and you download Cheese Pizza, yeah, naughty little boy. And you know, Easy is a bad guy because someone made a video on him and outsiders came in, like, shitting on him. But you know, if he was just some UHC main who got exposed, he would be like, completely innocent. Just don't look at the proof. Because there's none. It's all fabricated. It's AI generated. I mean, look at the thumbnail for this video. Everyone's like clip farming nowadays. You know, Palestine saw XQC, Kaisenat, all those guys like clip farming. And they're like, oh, I'm going to join in. Let's buy ChatGPT Premium and like AI generate articles and shit. But yeah, it's too easy to rage bait people nowadays in Minecraft. I wonder why. I hope it's not the fact that half of them are children and half of them are man-children who are emotionally unstable. Oh yeah, he has a funny little name that I'm sure most of you will know. Random Piggy, interesting guy. I remember like being on band and just trolling in lobby 1, and he was always there. But for some reason he never bothered trolling me. It was like some mutual respect among trolls, or rage baiters, whatever you want to call us. Professional rage baiters. Professional unemployed people. Haha. But I recently talked to him, and he pretty much just sounded like me in 2022. He's like, oh, all of these Jules mains are all the same. And I remember he started like listing names of Jules mains he rage baited successfully, and I'm like, yeah, they're all the same, don't worry about it. Like, they're all pussies, they're not gonna do shit. Oh yeah, I remember this one time I said free Israel, and a 4v2 argument like broke out. I wasn't even involved, I was just sat there having fun, and it lasted for 40 minutes. And I remember some non like just came out of nowhere, this level 2 non. Like, this guy literally logged on Hypixel, and the first thing he did was just fall for blatant rage bait. And he literally just started like spamming articles, like not links, but like the amount of people that got clipped within a month or some shit like that. And I said, nice fake stats. And I remember replying like, oh yeah, look, I can do the same. I actually have $2.6 million in Bitcoin. Because he was just throwing random numbers out. Like, of course I know the article's real. It's just he can't send proof, like the actual link. Like, I do realize it's a dick thing to do, but it's hilarious. Like, you're talking about politics in fucking Minecraft. Like, this is a children's game. It's like going on Roblox and just going band for band with fucking 12-year-olds. Like, grow up. I don't care if you're like 15 or 16 or 17 or 18. Like, this is a game for children. It's even crazy when the person is like 20 plus, like around my age. I don't know, it's hard to comprehend sometimes. Like, the average person is just so fucked. Like, all these little Twitter mains that just want to get mad on purpose. They want to waste all of that energy, like falling for rage bait and arguing with people. Like, look, just go do something you actually enjoy. Like, go watch YouTube, for example. Go doom scroll on TikTok. But yeah, Random Piggy, he's a funny guy. But he doesn't even do anything extreme. He literally just tells everyone to get a job. Like, I remember some poor little Skywars Master 2 joined, and he was like, I just hit Master 2, let's go, guys. W's in the chat. And Random Piggy's like, okay, how about you get a job next? It was just insane. Like, you're just shitting on children. Poor children. And I remember one of them like said he was 13, and he was like, well, that's no excuse. Which, crazy. Like, he just doesn't care. He just says it to everyone. And it's so simple too, but it works. That's the main key element. If it works, it works. It's almost as effortless as my free Israel thing. Because I don't even say anything legit. Like, I don't counter any of their points. I just say Palestine is like clip farming, or it's AI generated, or the leaders are like using ChatGPT Premium, which, every time I say it, it's just so funny inside of my head, because I just imagine like all the leaders, like all the military guys, they're all just sat around like ChatGPT being like, generate a really sad story, or generate a story about Israel being evil and taking our land. And once again, all of this is happening inside of Minecraft. It's hilarious, like the type of people that made this game. When ironically, like, you'll have all the little fake labs like going band for band with that fake little Exodus wallet. Like, oh, I have 200 million in Bitcoin. Reality, 5 cents. And then you have like the bricked, emotional man children like crying about like fucking Palestine, Ukraine, all that shit, which, is a topic I could talk about for eons. Oh, I know. I'm not gonna buy Starbucks for 2 days. 2 days later, breaking news. Starbucks, the multi-billion-dollar company, goes bankrupt because some fat white guy didn't buy coffee. Come on. Like, you're doing this in Minecraft. I know Twitter is pointless, but you can still get like some attention on it, like some actual real attention. Like, what the fuck are you doing on Minecraft? Do you think the admin's like gonna do anything? Huh? What's that? Free Palestine? Yo, Simon, you might have to donate like 10 mil to this thing. Alright. You should send that 10 mil to me as an apology for false banning me for 400 days, by the way. So cough up some money or some sumo wins. I'll take either, because I can't be bothered playing the game anymore. Oh yeah, speaking of that, it's funny how I was literally like one of the few people defending the admins. I mean, I knew that it would take a while, because I kept saying that, yes, it does take a while to get banned for botting or cheating, but you still get banned eventually, most of the time. Like, yeah, you can cheat for like 3 days till 2 weeks with a bot, but you'll still get banned eventually. Because if your logic was actually correct, that means someone would have had like 2 million wins by now. Because just leave the bot on 24/7. Simple. But no, the staff do eventually ban everyone, so I was like, I know it's slow. I know the fucking company has like trillions in Bitcoin and blood money from Israel. I'll stop doing the bit now, at least for the podcast. You know, it is actually like a multi-million-dollar company, like Hypixel. I mean, like, of course they can hire better people. Like, they can do a lot of stuff to improve their server. And I'm not even talking about like the generic point of just fix the anti-cheat, bro. Just add a code that like bans anyone using 3.2. Lol. I am talking about like actual moderation. Like, if someone does a 1K daily, a staff member comes in, like checks their replays, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But of course, every admin is like semi-incompetent. No diss to anyone watching this video, of course. I understand you play Skyblock and Jules is this little shitty mode with a lot of loud people. I love to complain. But after my year ban and my appeal being rejected, I was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, I don't care about them. You know, hence why in my fuel montage there's some fun stuff in there. Go watch it. It's a good montage. Also watch my other montages. I believe they're pretty nice. And yes, I do find it ironic that the only leaderboard player defending the admins gets banned. And it's a false ban. It's a false cheating year ban. Imagine that in like CSGO or some other esport. Oh yeah, you know, our teammate got banned because he's too good. What? Like, what's the whole point of esports then? Yeah, you can sweat, but just don't sweat too much. Imagine telling that to like someone who means Olympics, for example. For someone who like is training for the Olympics. Yeah, you can sprint, but only use like 90% of your power. Because that would be too unfair. Like, what? Like, I do understand that Minecraft PvP is not very awesome. And, you know, it's not meant to be a thing in the game. Unlike all the other games, but come on. Like, is it really that much effort to just like spectate one guy, check his logs? Like, the admins, okay, I do know for a fact that the admins have like advanced stuff. It's not like some bare bones system where you can like TP to people and like see their ping and shit. Like, I do know they have some crazy shit hidden away that only like 5 people on the planet know. Like, come on, guys, there's no excuse. Oh yeah, my final point on the rage bait lobby 1 thing. Like, I already know that the entire com hates me, you know, for quote unquote cheating, boosting, and the 900 other things that are all false. So there's no point of me like being fake nice. Like, when I originally started my sumo journey, of course I was a nice guy, you know, I was neutral with everyone, trying to help everyone out. If you DM'd me, I would definitely tell you like how to play the game properly, how to play the game better, but now it's too late to fix my rep, and probably for the best, because, you know, I don't like the average people mindset, the sheep. Pretty good impression, right? I feel like even if I made like some debunking video before the year ban, it would have all just been reverted because of the year ban. It's like I made a video, you know, going into full detail how I play the game. I'll give you a sumo guide for free, you know, which definitely would cost some money in a realistic scenario, in a realistic world. But here you go, for free. This is how I play sumo. This is my daily schedule. This is all the little strats that I use. And this is how I know when stuff happens. You know, I could have literally made a video like that, which is a advanced sumo guide for Hypixel. And like, the moment I get year banned, all of that just goes away instantly. Like, maybe a few more people believe me when I say it's false, but come on. Let's be real. I literally outgrinded the entire com in a single year. Like, there's people who play for 5 years straight, like all the day 1 OGs, and they only have like 100k overall. Which, you know, you can say, you know, oh, you made sumo, that's like the second fastest mode now. But hey, that doesn't mean that every other mode is like 5 wins per hour. And it goes back to the classic thing that I was talking about with Navi. Got that 3.7 or 3.8k daily and no one accusated him. Which, once again, crazy to imagine. You do a 500 daily in sumo and that's it. Like, unemployed, final boss. But yeah, it is kind of funny that people take it too seriously, like my rage baits and whatever else I do. Because literally you could block me and that's it. It would be over. Like, yeah, I would make fun of you for blocking me, but it's not like I'm going to hop on alts or try to get your IP or anything. I'll just let it go instantly. And plus, I only do it to people who actually like accusate me, or the trillion of accusations I get put on. So I feel like it's justified to rage bait or make fun of those people randomly for no reason. Like, they join lobby 1 and just start saying some random shit like, free all the cheese piece enjoys and you. Because, you know, from my POV, they shit talked me or they've wronged me. So I know it's petty, but that's the only fun I have nowadays from Minecraft. Which, yep, I know it's sad for some of us. So a month ago, I made a community post asking people to like send me questions for my solo episode. So I guess I'll quickly speedrun these questions now. So, do I think the update will revive the community? Like, although we already know the answer to this question, I'll pretend like the update is still on the way. So, pretty much my predictions are, I believe that the moment the update drops, Duels will have like 4-digit player base for like a week or two. Because, with Bed Wars Duels, like all the YouTubers will come out and start making videos and promote the mode. It's kind of like how Bridge kept Duels alive for a long amount of time, and all the content creators were Bridge YouTubers. So I think something similar like that will happen with Bed Wars, initially, of course. But after like 2 weeks, I believe it's going to go back to like 500-ish players. And looking back now, but obviously we all know that's not the case. Like within, 2 days, 3 days, it just reverted to 700-ish. I believe within the first day or two, it peaked to like 900 people, but then it instantly dropped because everyone realized that the update was shit and all the Duels mains were pissed. Another question is, will I ever main TNT? The answer is sadly not. I have said many times that TNT is actually the only duel I genuinely enjoy playing because it's so fun, but still chill. It's not like Sumo, where although it's fast, I still have to click and pay attention. I feel like TNT is just autopilot mode, for me at least. And it's very calm, you don't even have to butterfly click, you don't even need CPS in general. You can just hold right click. Although it would be slower than usual. But yeah, I'm not playing it because there's no love. And I don't want to fight sweats, which does sound like shade, but we are actually pretty similar in terms of our mindset and our goals for gaming. We are both just like casual players who play for fun. Although I do sometimes become competitive. But hey, you remember what happened last time I became competitive in Minecraft? I got a little false year ban. Next question is the most interesting person I've found or met via this podcast, and I'm not exactly sure because I only speak to them for 2 hours and only 10 to 20 minutes is actually like talking about IRL life or hobbies. So I don't have a specific person in mind who's like the most interesting, but I do appreciate like people admitting that they like reading books or working out or even collecting Legos, for example. It brings that human aspect, and it's something I feel like you wouldn't just randomly see in Lobby 1 when people just admit to stuff like that, because of course you're gonna get bullied. It's like being trans, which, although now it's more chill, there's still people who hate trans people. But if you had me at gunpoint and I was like forced to actually answer this question, I would definitely say Sosa, because he reminds me of me, no limits, no filters. He'll say whatever comes to mind, and he also doesn't care about rep, so he literally just reminds me of me like 3 years ago, before I was like very well known and hated, and before I had like 200k plus wins. So he's an awesome guy. Next question is, what am I the most proud of in real life? And surprisingly enough, I am very proud of my mindset. The whole sadness thing. Like, watch that chapter. It's hopefully decent. I'm not too sure, but I am proud that I'm like almost emotionless, and then pretty much just fueled by logic only. I look at everything logically. I feel like that's something a lot of people are missing today, falling for rage bait and just in general being stupid with money, but at the same time then complaining about like, oh, rent's going up or everything's like more expensive now. Well, the same person like spamming takeaways. Like, learn how to cook. It's better for you in every single way. Like, the food tastes better and you're actually getting like a little workout. Well, I am at least, since I gotta spam meat, like 500 kilos of fucking protein. It's like eating a whole femboy. But hey, you are what you eat. I'm just kidding. So the final question is, did I ever intend on getting #1 wins for Sumo? Of course not. Like, everyone who starts a YouTube channel, for example, everyone, like, there are some people who say, oh, one day I'm gonna have like 1,000,000 subs. I feel like deep down everyone knows that what they mean is they'll make good content, therefore gain subs, but as we all know, that's not the case. Like, a lot of slop becomes mainstream and the person ends up getting like a lot of money from it. And there are a lot of people, a lot of solo content creators who put in a lot of effort. They edit their own videos, and the videos themselves are very unique and original. But they end up getting like 200 views because, for example, like the title is shit or something, which in the grand scheme of things, like, shouldn't have really mattered because the video itself is like high quality. But of course, it's like the YouTube algorithm will detect that it's a decent video. So yeah, of course, I never at one point in time was like, oh, I'm gonna get #1 wins, easy. Like, whenever I came back and I had like Sumo Celestial instead of Godlike 9, I remember seeing the LB and like, wow. So we went from 50k to like 150k plus. Like, this is crazy. But eventually I put in my time, did my little dailies, and boom, got number 1. Simple. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy the solo episode because it actually required a lot of effort to edit. I keep freezing every 2 seconds and then thinking of something else. Like I replace lines because they sound better, or I want to like go into more detail. It's so much effort. Hopefully I never have to do this again. Unless you're fine with like my little stream like rambles, where it's just complete slop. I go silent for like 20 seconds, and then say some sophisticated sentence. But yeah, let me know what you think of this episode. I'm sure a lot of you will like it. I wonder why. And if you watched the whole thing, thank you. I love you. You know, I only care about my fans, all 3 of you. I'm just kidding. And also, don't go around saying you're my number 1 fan, because that's not true. Listen, you're not the only person who watches these podcasts in full. But yeah, cuss you on the bussy, my sussy wussy friends.